In the beginning of the intake conversation, the very first thing that we learn how to do is set a mini agenda for the conversation that we're about to have. Setting the mini agenda allows us as intake specialists to take control of that call. And what are we doing during the mini agenda? Well, we're learning, who are you? Why are you calling? We're asking, do you have X minutes for this call, which is typically 10 to 15 minutes? And then we're letting them know that at the end of this conversation, if it makes sense, we'll schedule a consultation for you and maybe your director of client engagement, maybe one of your attorneys, etc. So who are you? Why are you calling? Do you have X minutes for this call? And if it makes sense, this is what the next step is going to look like. It's really, really important in the mini agenda that we are actually taking control of the call. And that's really what the intention of the mini agenda is for us as intake specialists to be able to take control of the call. If you've been in intake for any length of time, you know that sometimes when you answer the phone, for example, good afternoon, Hughes Thorson, Scans Powell and Brundine. This is Theophan. How can I help you? Sometimes that prospect's going to jump right in. Oh, hey, I need to talk to one of your attorneys because this happened and blah, blah, blah. And they just start going for it. Now, not every time, but a good amount of time, that's what ends up happening. What I recommend is that you let them talk for 10, 15 seconds, and then you're going to have to jump in and take control of the call. Now, I know if you're one of those folks that doesn't like conflict, I don't like conflict, sometimes it can be really hard to do. So wait until your PNC, wait until your prospect stops to take a breath or they pause for a second, and then you're going to jump in. You're going to go, sir, hold on, or ma'am, hold on 1 second. Listen, I really do want to hear all of this, but before we go any further, I do have some questions I need to ask you. First of all, what was your first and last name? Bill Smith. Okay, Mr. Smith, and what's a good number for me to call you back? And now you've taken control of the call. As long as you do it professionally and conversationally, you should be able to jump in and interrupt your PNC without them getting upset and feeling like, oh, you just interrupted me. They're calling a law firm, they need help, and sometimes these folks, they come in hot and they just want to tell you their entire story. Well, as intake specialists, we're not the ones that need to hear the entire story. We just need to get the information that we need to qualify or disqualify them for a consultation with the law firm. All right, now, the mini agenda. One of the reasons we set that is so that we can take control of the conversation. This is a reminder for all of you intake specialists that are out there. It's okay. It's okay to jump in and interrupt them. If they just start going and just telling their story, it is okay to jump in and take control of that conversation. Remember, you want to qualify or disqualify them to work with the firm for a consultation. The only way you can do that is by getting through your 10 to 15 minutes. And if you let them run the conversation, it's just going to be so much more difficult. It's okay. After about 15 or 20 seconds, it's okay to jump in and interrupt them, take control of that call, get them on track, get the information that you need, and schedule their consultation if it makes sense for them.